I work as a software engineer here in the museum, and I'm in the visit team, which is quite exciting because I get to work on lots of different applications. So, for example, we're working on an interactive map at the moment so that people can look at different departments and look at pictures and features, and we might incorporate some video into that. And as well as that, we've also looked into virtual reality and working closely with the SFX team on basically making a 360 view of each of the parts of this beautiful building. And that's been quite nice. As a coder, I get to sort of dip my finger into many pies and work with a lot of different types of code. I found that I was more interested in the technical side of what I was selling and not really in selling the product, and I wanted to get involved in how that was made and sort of how that functioned. Yeah, there are quite a few things that I love doing here. I mean, one great thing is that my office is actually in the museum, so I get to walk through the dinosaur hall every day, which is great. In terms of the actual coding role itself, it's really good because I'm in a product team at the moment where I can build on lots of different applications. I work very closely with the UX designer who does a lot of tests with the visitors who come in here. So because we work quite closely, we do a lot of proof of concept applications, and this means I get to explore lots of different codes, frameworks, and that's great for someone starting out their career in code. So I get to see where I really want to delve into and learn more on my skill. One of the great things about becoming a coder is this networking thing that happens really all over the world, but I think in London it's quite the hub of it. So I do a lot of networking events, I attend lots of meetups. I think not only is it good for the networking aspect, especially if you're starting off as a coder, but it's great for just developing your skills. The coding industry is always evolving, and there's always a new framework that's out there, so it's great to sort of talk to other people that are like-minded who work in different industries. And I think there's always so many benefits. You gain a friendship, but you gain understanding in your industry, and you can basically make sure you're at the forefront of what's modern and what's getting used in technology. So a lot of them are meetups, so this is where you have different coders talking about maybe what they like, what they don't like in their jobs, maybe a new framework that's out that they're really passionate about, or opening up your mind to maybe establishing or figuring out a solution for a new problem that maybe you wouldn't have done. So there's meetups, there's also coding events where you have more experienced coders who dedicate some time, 1 or 2 hours after work, to maybe doing a little workshop with people who either want to get into code or who are more junior coders. So one of them I can think of is Code Bar, which is an excellent thing that's been established in London, and they have quite a few little classes that they do once a week. And then you also have things like hackathons, which are really great. So these are like, they can be one day or they can last up to a week, where you sort of get given a problem, you get put in a product team, which may include a few developers, UX designers, product managers, and you sort of work really hard for that day, a few days a week, and that's been really helpful as well to develop your skills. Yeah, so I think one of the things I came up with was I had the misconception that before getting into code you sort of had to have quite a strong science and mathematical background, and I think that's definitely not the case. So although there is some maths and science logic to it, I think that coding is more an overall subject where you sort of it's more logical rather than mathematical. So it's more using your head as to how you'd solve this problem rather than mathematical equations. You can decide to make it more mathematical, maybe going into the Python language, looking at data science, but that's completely up to you. So there's lots of different technologies and different kind of ways that you can go into when you decide to change careers and become a coder. I think it's really important that we incorporate more women into coding. So I've been in the industry now for just over a year, coming out of the boot camp, and although we see a lot of women and girls in maybe the meetups and the coding events that we have around London, I haven't seen that many in the industry. So I know that particularly in the Natural History Museum they're trying to push more female coders, and they're trying to get involved with more meetups and hackathons that they're doing here in the museum itself. But I think it's something that's really important, for not only for as a woman when you start a job, you want to make sure that there at least is a 50-50 split between men and women, and I think it's very good in terms for diversity as well, and I think finally in these past few years we are seeing a change in the industry.